front of a live YouTube audience from private studios around Pennsylvania, with hosts Rick Gonzalez of Allentown Cop Block, Scott Marshall of the Oath Accountability Project, and Matthew Taylor of Carbon County Cop Block. This is Cop Blast Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cop Blast Podcast. How you guys doing today?
Hope you guys are doing all right. I'm your co-host, Scott Marshall, co-founder of the Oath Accountability Project, and we're here with Matt Taylor. Matt?
Hey, I'm Matt Taylor of Carbon County Cop Block. Just getting another week going. Can't wait to do tonight's show. I'm kind of excited about it. Unfortunately, guys, I know that this episode was called Rick Goes to the Shire, but Rick is a little under the weather this week.
Poor Rick, man.
Poor Rick, man. Yeah, I mean, I just want to go ahead and say that we went and saw him earlier. Took a couple photos with him, but yeah. Here's Rick and Scott. Rick will be back most likely next week. I don't see why he wouldn't be, but he's recuperating tonight. I'm gonna take this off because it's definitely got a picture of Rick's piss in the background.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Good job pointing it out while it was still on camera. That was great.
Yeah, no problem. But hopefully he's better. He's better next week. So yeah, we're still going to talk about Rick's trip up to New Hampshire, though. So Rick last week represented Cop Blast Podcast and went up and was on Cop Block Radio up in Keene, New Hampshire. Got to meet up with some awesome people, JP Freeman and Ethan Glover of New Hampshire Regional Cop Block. Got to meet Ian Freeman of LRN.FM. He's a really cool guy. He is actually who broadcasts he does the Free Talk Live, and he actually is the founder of LRN, if I'm not mistaken. Absolutely.
And actually, I believe they're live as well right now. But don't watch them, watch us. It's a good show, but please stay. Rick sounds like Rick had a good time. He's got a couple good videos, but we're gonna wait for him to come back so that he can share them with you and give all the commentary. He went, like Matt said, he got to go cop blocking with everybody. He had a pretty good time from what I heard. So I'm happy for him, and I can't wait to take a trip up there and see the sights and see the cops.
Yeah, hang out with good old JP Freeman.
Oh.
So you actually had a interaction with the cops earlier this week.
Oh, did I? Did I ever? I had a little interaction. It was about 7:15-ish in the morning. I was a little, well, we'll say a little early for work, which it made me just a tiny bit late for work after this incident. I'm gonna go ahead and do the screen share, but I'll give you a little backstory real quick. I'm driving along this road here that you see on the right. I'm coming up and I drive past this, and from what I see is a young guy, and there's a cop standing in front of him with his finger in his face, giving him like a sobriety test, and another cop's digging around in his trunk. So, given how these DUI situations seem to work around here, like I've seen with Matt, I decided that I was going to go and, just watch and make sure that nothing bad happens. So without further ado, here is the video. Very cold. I'm holding two phones. This is why it's so shaky and off. public servant. I have a right to film you. I'm not interfering with anything.
Yes, you are. So you need to step back some, okay? You need to step back to that sign back there.
That sign is about 150 yards away.
Look, I'll move off of the roadway. I'm not interfering with anything. I'm far enough away. I know my rights. Oh, you do? Yes, I know my rights. Oh, okay. I'm glad you know your rights.
I'm gonna stand right here. I'm not interfering.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, you know your rights? Let me walk away from you.
Yeah, it's like wait. It's like, oh, you know you're right. You know,
Crap.
you know what? I better walk with. You know, that's actually I didn't really see it that way at first, but that's pretty good. I tell him I know my rights, and it's instant cop repellent. He just turns around and walks away, and he didn't. And you know, I ended up leaving. This is I have a whole long, like a whole 10 or 15 minutes that I stood there. I have all that video, but right after this, the guy's parents show up and everybody's laughing and smiling and didn't look like they found anything. So to me, it seemed like things were gonna go all right. It was just, you know, it didn't seem like anything was gonna happen. I was late for work and it was very, very cold. So I did get this little interaction. They didn't look like they found anything and looked like the kid got to go on his way. So
still, man, props for stopping and going over and making sure that didn't turn into something it shouldn't have turned into. And I really like the fact that you stood straight up to him and said, "No, I know my rights," you know, and you know, I know my rights. And the cop just he doesn't know what to say to that. He's like, "Oh shit, maybe I don't know these rights. Maybe I should get out of here before I get pinned on something."
Yeah, I know my rights. Like the other officer that was there, he was in the station the day that we all got arrested. Young blonde-haired guy. He didn't really talk to us much, but I think he knew better than to come talk to me. So when I walked away, it was probably like, "Hey, that was Marshall. You know, you should probably
watch out for that one.
Should probably be a little bit more careful with that one." So, I just want to say, not to toot my own horn, but this is probably one of the best ways that you can address an officer is be extremely non-confrontational, and even to the point where you hear how I'm talking now. When I talked to him, I had a very like short, concise, like I'm not interfering with anything. You know, just very non-confrontational, and that's kind of how you want to handle these things. You want to stand up for yourself, but you also want to appear to be firm but a little passive. Sorry about that, guys. It's getting
wow.
I was getting a Facebook phone call.
It's your professionalism I admire here.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting for Facebook to go off. It was ringing in my headphones too. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But I'll just
you tell them no. So anyways, you were sitting there and you were talking about you know, and you made a quick apology about the fact that your camera was so shaky, and that brings us to another fun thing. Why don't you tell them about the new toy you just picked up?
All right. Well, instead of really telling, I'll just show you. Let me do a full screen over here, and let me do another screen share on it. All right. This video is entitled Test, because I don't really have a name because we were just kind of goofing off, and Matt was talking. So I'll just kind of show you what I got here. We'll start out with it paused. And as you can see, we've got 360 degrees. Oh, that's kind of right in my face. we're going to fix that. But as you can see, we got 360 degrees of video.
That's awesome.
By the public opinion to be able to have flip out moments like these black guys on stage.
No context given for that, by the way. There's no context.
Yeah, it's just that. Well, that's how it was presented to me. So
Yeah, this is very true. But yeah, that's going to be a fun piece of equipment that I can't wait for us to go out and play around with and actually get some cop blocking with. Because now you have multiple mounts for this, right?
oh, I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got a head mount. I've got a tripod mount. I've got a visor clip. I've got helmet mounts. I've got an action case. I have a waterproof case. I've got a surfboard mount. I've got a windshield suction cup. I've got all kinds of adhesives. I've got extensions, and it all came in this great bundle. It's great. Here's actually the little camera here. I'm not actually going to promote this particular camera. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is because they're not paying me. So, but it's this particular little doohickey, and I like it. It works great. And the yellow doohickey. Look it up.
Yep. The yellow doohickey, but you can see what it does. It's a nice 360 camera.
Yep.
And we're going to be bringing you some fun videos with that thing.
Yep. I'm super excited. Anybody in the area that happens to be looking, please hit us up on our Facebook. If you see any checkpoints, let us know what's going on. Just any of that. I really want to use this video or this video camera. Anybody wants to go out cop blocking with us, let us know. Summer's here. Let's do this.
Bunny Boots just actually said he's got a 360 camera also and can't wait to use it for a test video. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, especially with the fact that you do a lot of drone stuff. That's going to be pretty cool to attach a 360 camera to that and get some really awesome footage.
That is an idea. That gets some 360 drone footage.
That's going to be some awesome stuff. I hope that you weren't trying to sit on that like something quiet and I just blew your load to 4 people, but but that if that's not what you were thinking about doing, you should try that, because some 360 drone camera shots from the both of you would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
So why don't we jump into our first actual story here?
All right. What do we got?
I believe this comes out of Chicago. Remember Jason Van Dyke back in 2014? He shot and killed Laquan McDonald.
Yeah.
I
remember that out in Chicago, and the guy looks like he looks like a real putz. You know, he looks like somebody who you wouldn't want operating an ice cream truck.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that his whole story, was pretty quiet up until there was a lawsuit settlement offered by the city, and it was a settlement that actually came through for $5 million to McDonald's family. Well, you would think, especially since he was removed from Chicago Police Department, that would have basically been the end of his career, right? Wrong. No, the Fraternal Order of Police have actually turned around and given him a job. Now, there has been outrage. The Sunday Times made an inquiry to the FOP officials who thought Van Dyke's working for the union, to get some sort of statement from them. They wouldn't respond. And Van Dyke, who was stripped of his police powers and is on unpaid status, he's making $12 an hour from the FOP, slightly above the typical unarmed security guard, what they're being paid. But at the same time, he's still doing work for police. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually have the original video right here. Ready. It's a little 6-minute video. If anyone should we play it?
Let's just get to the meat of it. Let's not watch the whole 6 minutes.
Okay. warning: the following video contains graphic images of violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Yeah, I would highly advise being discretionary with your viewing.
If you're watching this and you're like 7 years old, please stop watching this.
Yes. Let's see. All right. Here we go. He's pulling up. The audio is not very loud in this.
Let me turn you up.
I mean, it's not even loud in my headphones at all. So
yeah, I don't hear it. It's okay. We'll talk over it. So you see this officer who, if you're not paying too much attention, you know, the one in front of him is just going in and out of traffic, oncoming.
All right. Here we are. He's pulling up. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Let's back it up. All right. He's walking. He has something in his hand, but he's not walking at officers. He's walking towards this open area over here. He's not threatening officers. He's not ready to really give up yet. But he's walking. Here comes 2 officers. And here we go. It's this officer right here. Boom, boom, boom. More bullet shots. He's down on the ground. He's still being shot. And other officers actually had to step in and stop. And you actually see this officer. And see, this is something that most people don't realize is what police do. Is see how none of these vehicles here are really pointed in this direction?
Yep.
Now watch what happens when this cop sees what is about to go down. He immediately tries to turn his car to get it out of view.
Yep. And he almost
immediately
got it. He almost got it.
Yeah, he almost got it out of view. And that's what they do. And it's fucked up.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure that, you know, nobody was able to see what was actually going on there. And, well, they failed. I mean, they failed.
Yeah. Well, now, without getting really into a conversation about this video, you know, we're talking about this guy. And this guy, he should be shunned. He should be shunned. He murdered someone. Instead of it's a slap in the face, the police are like, we get it. We understand. We're on your side. Like,
the way that the
guy should be shunning him.
The way that they're trying to make it out is that the FOP doesn't want to turn their back on somebody who wasn't actually convicted of something. He was sued, but he wasn't actually convicted. So the FOP is trying to say their hands are kind of tied, because if they don't back him, then they lose faith in everybody from everybody else who expects them to turn around and have their back for situations. So if they don't have their back in a situation as somebody who wasn't actually charged in a crime, then who the hell is going to trust the fact that this union has their back? And that's kind of the argument that people are trying to make in favor of the Fraternal Order of Police. To that, I say you're full of shit. You know, this man took somebody's life, and he did it in such an aggressive way that there's no way to say it's like, oops, my finger slipped, or, you know, anything along those lines. He got out of his car instantaneously and used the excuse that he feared for his life, although dude was walking away from him and away from anybody, actually. And then he puts, it was like 11 rounds through him. Like, what the hell? That's insane.
That's what we call overkill.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up.
And you know what? That's just Chicago lately. Chicago really has been in the crosshairs of just all these fucked up cases. And, you know, not only just from the fact that they have, you know, their little mini Guantanamo over there.
Holland Square.
Yeah, Holland Square. But then Hammond rather. But now, you know, they've got things like this, and it's just Chicago, man. It's a ridiculous place to be right now.
I would not want to be in Chicago like that. If you're in Chicago, I mean, hats off to you for real. I'm not trying to hate on your city, but
yeah, my mama Dukes needs to move.
Yeah. My hats off to you. If you're in Chicago, you're a brave motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm on the side of a mountain right now, and I'm cool with that, actually.
Yeah. We're on the side of a mountain right now, and our cops are crazy as hell. You know, I don't want to know what they're like in a big ass city like that, where it seems like the gloves came off years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's pretty messed up. Just glad he's not, like I said before, driving an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Got that look. So we're gonna move on to our next story, and this is a story that I kind of wanted to touch base on because I wanna and I'm mad because I was trying to wear my free Dio shirt and I just completely forgot about it before we got to go live. But I got the free Dio up here. But for those of you that don't know, our buddy Dio is a political prisoner.
Better way to put it.
Yeah, he's a political prisoner. He's held. There was no victims. He wasn't aggressing anybody. He didn't harm anyone. He didn't harm any property. And
victimless crimes. Like the way they tried to make it out was that he was on a victimless crime spree, and realistically, what he did was he had a sign, and they didn't like that he had a sign. They didn't like that he was recording, and said to everybody that he was interfering with a medical emergency, and got hit with a whole bunch of summaries, and somehow summary offenses landed him in jail for 240 days.
Yeah. And there's a little video with it. It's very long. I just want to go into the beginning because Josh, or I'm sorry, not Josh.
Pete Erie.
Yeah, Pete Erie. He makes some good points here in the beginning, and I really want to shine some light on this because I really like Dio. He's a good guy, and I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. So, without further ado, here's the video.
Howdy friends, Pete here. Just wanted to share yet another letter, the third letter that I wrote to my friend and hopefully your friend, Dio Odulecki.
And I just want to point out, anybody can write to Dio. The information is on copblock.org. I think it's in this article as well. We'll actually find that before the end of the show. I'm sure he would love to hear from anyone. Except if you're a troll, have a heart.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and in our post-show notes as well, which you can find on copblock.org, we're going to go ahead and put in the contact information for him as well.
Yeah, if you're a troll, have a heart. If you don't have a heart, then fuck you. But I'm gonna continue.
Who's currently caged in Parma, Ohio, for essentially not complying with police employees. Dio didn't harm anybody. He didn't victimize anyone. He didn't aggress against anyone's property. It's unjust that he's being caged. It's, I think, accurate to call him a political prisoner. But my intention in writing these letters and in sharing them is, again, just to put his situation on your radar. And if you're somebody who, still doesn't see through the violence that's inherent in this injustice system, to maybe become familiar with Dio's situation and see that his actions are definitely not cause for him to be caged. And so without further ado, I'm just going to read this letter to you. Okay, this letter is dated April 2nd, and it reads, Dio, Douglas, Uncle Dio, my friend.
All right. Without really watching the whole video, a lot of it is about reminiscing and stuff. I actually didn't make it all the way to the end. I really like that part at the beginning, and I really want to put a spotlight out. Please write to Dio. And even more, there's a GoFundMe campaign out there for Dio, for his appeal. Please, just anything helps. The couple people have donated. I gave a little. Anything you can do to help, just please. Just talk about his case, because
Yeah, the more we talk about it and the more we get it out there, the more everybody gets to hear about it. And maybe, just maybe, we might reach the right person who knows what to do to get him off of this. I mean, I know his lawyers are working hard, but we all got to stick together, and the thought processes from all of us could probably get him can get some ideas on how to move forward and hopefully get him out before he has to serve all 240 days in this bullshit sentence.
And actually, I have the address right here. It's Douglas O. Dalecki, Parma Detention Center, 555 Powers Boulevard, Parma.
Boo.
Parma, Ohio 44129. Here it is right here. Douglas O. Dalecki, Parma Detention Center, 555 Powers Boulevard, Parma, Ohio 44129. Please send him a letter. I think this week we should all, all three of us go in on a letter to Dio, and we'll send it off to him.
So Retro and Bunny are actually having a conversation here. Retro says, so when talking about trolls without hearts, do we mean cops? Yeah, cops don't write Dio. That's mean. You guys are assholes. Don't talk to them. You can get a hold of us though. We'll play with you all your games and allow you guys to attempt to think you won while we sit back and laugh at your measly attempts to feel superior. And then Bunny was saying that we might mean him, seeing that he trolls some of the followers in the comments. Dude, just keep going. Just keep doing it, because some of the people that you guys comment towards are just a joke, and we don't have the time to address all of them ourselves. So when some other people see somebody say something stupid and get on top of it, it kind of helps us out a little bit without having to interact with every single person on our YouTube that says a lot of retarded stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm surprised about? I'm surprised we haven't actually gotten any recognition from our good friend Larry.
Larry. Well,
so in case you guys don't know who we're talking about, there's an ex-cop blocker. I forget his last name. His first name is Larry. He was bigger in the movement, used to be an editor and a writer for copblock.org until he got into a little bit of illegal trouble and decided at that point he was going to flip the script and become a cop sucker and start making videos about most of the cop blockers out there, the heads of organizations and things like that, and basically started just making these slam videos, and they're so boringly hilarious
and so badly edited too. It's just, come on, Larry, really?
They look like something you would make if you were angry, 12 years old, and in mom's basement. And
if you had a bootleg version of the what is
Premiere.
it, the Apple Movie Maker or Windows Movie, like you had a bootleg version of a free software,
like you ever watch one of those videos that you don't agree with anything that you're watching, but at the same time the person tried so hard and failed that you feel bad for them and you almost want to support them, but you can't because they're idiots.
Yeah,
that's what we're dealing with right here.
It's insane. The guy, come on, Larry. Yeah, Larry, come on, give us your best shot. Let's see what you're made of.
Fucking Larry.
Come on, Larry.
So, why don't we move to the East Coast and talk about New York City?
Oh, we're gonna talk about that story that's been all over the place where the cop shot the dog. Shot that dog?
Yeah. Real quick, if you could get the link to Larry's YouTube. I'm sorry, I'm in shock right now.
Does anybody know what what it's?
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you start reading about this while I find it?
All right. Here we have NYPD cop shot and killed dog wagging tail. hand owner a $265 burial fee. Now, this was covered a little bit on this past week at Cop Block Radio, but there's been an update. Now, this is, the thing is, this cop came to the door, and I believe he came to the wrong door, if I'm correct. And the dog came out wagging his tail. There's a video. It's kind of graphic, but I think it's necessary to play it for you guys. Wagging his tail. Oh, she fell on the steps running down there. That's just that's basically that's the gist of what happened there. And that's
Yeah, there's
there's not many words that I'm having trouble coming up with words for that because it's just so wrenching. He shot the dog right in the head. Like, they didn't offer an apology, and they gave him a $265 cremation bill.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Not only that, but you sit back, and that's not the only thing that, or the only time that what's her name, Rosado. Yvonne Rosado, because I believe that's her first name. Bunny, I'm gonna have to send you a link to that after the show. I'll send it to your Google Plus because I can't find it right now off the top of my head. I just can't remember the URL. But anyways, this isn't the first time that she's had to deal with this situation where cops have come in and killed one of her pets. In fact, back in what I believe it was 2010.
Yep, they killed her pet cat.
Yeah, they broke the cat's neck. The cat was staying at a friend's house. They decided to do a search, and they broke the cat's neck. And in this one, she wasn't even the person who was having the cops called on her. What ended up happening was she had recently gotten out of the shower and was kind of dancing around with her dog Spike, because that was the dog's name, and she heard something over by her front door. So she goes and opens up the door to see what it is, and the dog just walks out wagging its tail. And as you can see, the dog doesn't even make it 6 steps out the door while wagging its tail, and it gets shot. So what's crazy is that there's no criminal charges against the officers. There's no internal investigation. They all have their jobs. This is just, it's like the second they got the okay after killing one dog, they were like, hey, let's see how many we can do, until they decide to get really pissed off about it. Because we're not going to police ourselves. We're not going to get ourselves in trouble for shooting a dog. We're just going to do more.
The police kill so many dogs in this country. It's insane. It really is. And I think that there should be held more accountable. I mean, like, this is, I'm sorry, I'm a pet lover, and this video it rocks me to my core every time. I can't.
Like, it's pointless that they do this. And what's even more upsetting is that there is a study out from back in 2013 that goes by the statistics, and the statistics run that every 98 minutes a police officer kills a family pet. 98 minutes.
98 minutes, really?
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's incredibly insane.
Like,
I mean, there's one police department. I'm looking at it right now. I'm pulling it up, trying to see where it is. Buffalo, New York. There is a department up in Buffalo that actually in 1 year killed, or in 3 years rather, killed 92 dogs. 92. Just one department. 92 animals put down in 3 years. That's not a problem. Like, people aren't going and saying, well, you know what? Whenever we turn around and we look back at serial killers, one of the first things that we notice is that they had a tendency to start taking things out on animals first. And when you have these officers who are just killing things for the hell of it, you know, just to see, basically, in my mind, the way I view it, as just to watch something die is insane.
They get that itchy trigger finger and they want to pull their, you know, if you were to do the same, and I saw this meme going around that says if you kill a dog that's a police dog, it should be treated like an officer and the person should get charged like they killed a police officer. Well, then why the fuck can't it be the same for our civilian pets?
I agree with that, you know, because
like what the
I know I have a dog and I consider that dog to be one of the family. Like a little child, we take care of it, do everything for it. So if you kill my dog, you know, I feel like you killed one of my family members. You killed my child. You know, you should be charged accordingly, not, oh, well, there's a dog, you can get another one. But our dogs, you touch our dogs. Well, you need to do life in jail. Go fuck yourself.
Wasn't there a football player that got in trouble recently because at like one of these games, he was like taunting the dog or something, they said?
I did not see that.
I thought it was like at the Super Bowl or one of the big games leading up to the Super Bowl. One of the players was like, you know, barking at a dog or something. I don't know. It was just, I guess, bored on the bench and trying to get the dog's attention. And the cops charged him with like, I don't even know. They like with messing with a police animal or something. It was ridiculous.
You said it was at the Super Bowl? I wasn't aware Michael Vick was at the Super Bowl. Ooh, I know. I went there. But no, I didn't hear anything about that, but I'm not surprised either. I'm really not. You know,
remember earlier we were talking about things you can't come back from in the society?
Yes. We were having this whole conversation earlier today when we were on our way to go see Rick about things you can't do in society that at the end of the day you can or cannot come back from. I think animal abuse is on that list, and you really don't come back from that.
Yeah, like, oh, he used to fight dogs, but now he's cool. That's not, nobody says that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a thing.
Yeah, I think honestly, you know, he's going to live with that about as long as Ray Rice is going to have to live with being on lists of things that are, you know, people trust and don't trust more than things. So.
Along with Chipotle, geez.
Well, if they stopped getting people sick and feeding them tainted food, well, maybe. I mean, you can't feed somebody tainted food when your food already gives people fire ass. You know, so
yeah, that's a deadly storm waiting to happen.
Yeah, that really is. All they have to do is add some sort of X-Lax to their products, and they've hit the trifecta. I mean, their products basically are already. I don't know if any of you guys out there are Chipotle fans, but I'm not. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to die. Burritos are worth it.
I wasn't a fan before. I'm not a fan now. So
my love of burritos are not worth a trip to the hospital. Taco Bell does not send me to the hospital. It just keeps me in the bathroom. I'm okay with that. So, speaking about ridiculous things, did you see the story that came out of Texas?
Oh, which one? The one about the news story with the meth? The lady with the meth?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, come on.
I don't know
Are we going there?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this story, whether I'm upset about it, whether I find it hilarious, whether I think the cops were involved in entrapment, but
Okay, I call foul, good sir. I call foul because and not I don't want to. Okay, people that use.
why don't we give people a little bit of a backstory of what we're talking about? So,
Okay.
check this. The cops basically made a Facebook post as a health advisory warning all the locals that the local heroin and methamphetamine could possibly contain Ebola, and was requesting that people bring their products in so they could be tested for public safety. And somebody showed up.
Come on, man. Really, just it's the most ridiculous shit. Like,
so to the lady who showed up, now this was in Granite Shoals, which is a little bit outside of Austin, Texas. But Cassidy Hopkins or Hobson was the lovely lady who decided to show up and have her meth tested because she was afraid that it might have Ebola. I don't know what to say to this lady. Like, I don't care how high you were, nothing in your head went, if I take this meth to the police department, I'm not going to get charges and arrested. Like, but that leads me to my point of entrapment. Because the definition of entrapment is when law enforcement, through manipulation, gets somebody to do something they would not have regularly done. Now, to sit there and put out a fake news or health warning about this, saying that there might be Ebola in it, and to have people come to the police station with their drugs, is a form of entrapment, because I don't know a single person who's going to sit there and go, you know what, it's Tuesday, I'm bored, why don't I take in 3 grams of meth to the police department and see how that plays out?
yeah, it's insane. And to say something like Ebola, like you're trying to scare, you're using scare tactics, that's scare box. That's Skinner box manipulation.
I'm surprised Ebola is still working, though, because, I mean, I think you and I both said to each other we weren't going to have a fear for Ebola in America until more people had been diagnosed with Ebola than Kim Kardashian has had boyfriends or.
No, I'm actually on the opposite side of that. I think we should be afraid of Ebola because, it's a little bit worse than we're told.
So if the local police department decide to put out some sort of press release saying that you should turn in your newly illegal Coca-Colas, would you turn in your Coca-Colas?
No, fuck that.
Exactly. If you're like, maybe I should just go buy some different Coca-Cola from a town over. You know, like, at the end of the day, we're not sitting here and condoning or condemning the fact that this person decided to use methamphetamine. Honestly,
yeah, that's beside the point. We're talking about the police and their manipulation of stupid people. And
at the end of the day,
it's not cool.
It's something that we won't partake in ourselves. But what you want to do with your own body, that's up to you. But to be entrapped by the police is a little much. I mean, they have this stupid ass war on drugs, and they get enough. They get so many people caught up in so much shit. I mean, just to fish for it like this, especially in a little town of only 5,000 people. It's not like this lady, this was the first time she got in trouble either. She's had a slew of run-ins with the cops between 2008 and 2013, but then she stayed quiet. For the last 3 years, she's had nothing until she decided to just take the bait. You know, like, that's exactly what it is. They baited the waters, and somebody bit. And honestly, I think her lawyers got a nice case of to argue here, because it really is entrapment. But,
yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Why? why are the police just trying to come up with more and more ways to make people into criminals? I mean, leave people alone. Let people live their lives. Like, oh, you don't think what you did ruined her life? Like, what are you accomplishing by sending her to jail? I don't understand. Like, this is
revenue. It's a town of 5,000. They've got to tax and pull as much money as they possibly can out of every resident.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, like, what are other people? What does the community think that they're really solving by doing things like this to people? The community itself, they're not really interested in the revenue. They're interested in justice, and this isn't justice. What are we doing in this country? Sorry to go on my little tirade here, but I'm getting sick of this. It's insane. Like, if somebody wants to buy some drugs and stuff and to do that, let them fucking do it. I mean, I'm not condoning or condemning the drugs. I'm just saying, if you have issues with drugs, you should go to a doctor, not go to a cage. It's not going to a cage is not going to fix your problem. It's just going to make your life worse. And then you're not going to be able to get a job or an apartment or anything anywhere. It doesn't help you. It hurts you. That's the whole thing, and people don't understand that. They're like, these people need help. The only way they're going to get help is if they get busted and have to go to jail. No. You're absolutely wrong.
So before we actually wrap everything up, there's a story that actually just got posted a little bit ago to copblock.org. I'm not going to send it over to you. I'm just going to read it, and you can decide and talk about it there. But the headline is, Mom calls cops over missing 12-year-olds, so the officer breaks his teeth. This comes out of Idaho, where a woman says cops with the Idaho Falls Police Department picked up her 12-year-old son and smashed his face into the trunk of a parked car after she called and reported him missing. She initially made the call in the morning of March 13th and spent the day with friends searching for the child. Before he was finally located, she had called the police again to indicate that he was safe. But that wasn't good enough for the cops. Once they heard that he was safe, that wasn't good enough. They decided to come over and investigate. Well, they talked to her for a little bit and then went over to her son and started asking questions. And then out of nowhere, they attacked him. They just went over to him, asked him 2 questions. They don't even say what the questions were, and then picked him up and dropped him on the back of the cop car face first. Broke his teeth. Crap. Let me see if I'm able to put this over. No, I have nothing. Damn, I have nothing loaded up to where I can show you the teeth. Scott.
I got it.
Yeah, it's a top story there.
I got it. I'm looking at it right now. I got it. I'm already on it. There you go. Teeth. Look at that. I mean, are these his adult teeth? He's 12 years old, so I'm guessing.
Was it necessary to smash a kid's face against a cop car because you couldn't find him?
Hell no, it's not necessary. It's insane. Like, why would you initiate violence on a young person? Like, what is wrong with you? Fucking hurt a child like that. I mean, how dare people? I don't get it.
And there were multiple people on the scene, and they collaborated, or corroborated rather, the mother's story about what the police did. Now, the police are being held or kept quiet. They're not saying who the officer was or anything like that at this time. Obviously, if they're not telling you who the officer was, he's still on duty. There's an investigation open, but at the same time, this family needs to watch out because, you know, it took them 3 days and they filed a civil suit. And second you start filing civil suits against your local police, which granted, I say still do it, but then that paints a big ass target on your back. Even if they were so incredibly wrong, like they were in this situation, it just gives them the opportunity and the momentum just to fuck with you.
Yep, the fuel is there. I mean, it's rough. It really is.
Yeah, I don't know what goes through these people's heads. You know, we watched a video, I think it was last week, where they just came up right behind that woman and scoop slammed her in a parking lot. And we thought, wow, like, what goes through this guy's head? Now let's take this to a 12-year-old child. If once again, let's go back to that same thing that we say. If you and I on the street did this to somebody, to a child nonetheless, we'd be hit with so many charges our head would spin and be doing time. That's not something you just walk away from. But no, this dude gets to keep his job. Don't worry, Larry. You can show up tomorrow. Keep your badge and gun. Just make sure you don't scoop slam any children in the next 3 weeks, so we can just scoop this underneath the rug and hopefully it goes away. It's like, when did this become okay? When it never did. But when did it become acceptable for us as a society to say, oh yeah, you know what? There's no problem. Why don't we just go ahead and allow this Gestapo force? Because that's exactly what I view the police as. It's just a Gestapo force that operates on its own laws, its own form of, or own brand of justice. And if you call them out on it, you rarely win against it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
It's just it. No, I don't understand the need to hurt children. Why? Do you feel like a man? Do you feel like a big, strong man? Is that?
It's heartbreaking.
It is. Before we go tonight, I wanted to address a comment that I received recently on my YouTube. It's from a guy that I know to be a police officer. Just because, well, through the comments that he's made and the comments that I've said, and he pretty much doesn't deny at all that it's pretty. Here, I'll screen share this with you guys, so you guys can see it. It says, "Don't worry, my little nappy-headed Trevon wannabe. When cops like this trooper starts not to give a fuck and you're being held up in some alleyway and Tyrone is about to bust you in the hiney, then you will wish you had a trooper or Leo to stop the assault LOL you are about to endure. But the trooper would simply reply, sorry, it's against his rights to stop Sambo from dumping his unborn kids onto your smelly cinnamon ring. Have a nice day, you fucking liberal."
Let's not even get into how uneducated that was written. Let's just not, because it's so apparent that this falls right underneath the line of they don't like to hire educated people.
And I mean, just his name right here at the end, USMC, United States Marine Corps. Now, what this other stuff says is beyond me. I don't know, maybe
Some bullshit.
Yeah, some bullshit. Too many letters for me to try to decipher. But I see United States Marine Corps, which leads me to believe that he's now a cop or some sort of MP or some sort of asshole that masturbates to Roadhouse. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? This he's a dick. I get comments like this all day. You just gotta shake them off and you gotta laugh at them because, I mean, it's so uneducated. I can tell by reading this, if this guy and I were in a face-to-face conversation, he wouldn't be saying these things. He's hiding behind his computer, and I guess it's like people behind the driver's wheel. If you can't get to them face-to-face and actually, see their face, then, we revert to being a child. So, whatever, dude.
Actually, speaking about cops online and the stuff that they do, didn't we kind of get contacted by a local cop that kind of seemed like they were pulling some shady shit, trying to get us to come talk to them?
Yeah, real quick, because we're running out of time, but I was contacted by a guy, and I immediately looked up his name because he sent me a join request on Cell 411. It's a great app, by the way. But he sent me a request on Cell 411 to join my circle. Now, I always, if somebody sends me a request and they have their name, I always look them up. And if they're close to me, then, I'm pretty sure if their name matches. Well, this guy had, a bunch of flag pictures and Freemason stuff, and one picture with a blue line, the thin blue line sticker. So he had that as his picture at one point. So I started talking to him. I started asking around. Turns out this guy was a cop or is a cop or whatever. He tried to contact me and talk to me, and then he just kind of stopped talking to me and stopped trying to talk to me because I guess he figured out that I wasn't stupid enough to, He was at first. He starts telling me, "Oh, cops need to be held accountable. They're going crazy out here. They're doing bad things." And then he starts telling me, "Well, he found some stuff on the computer, and then they kicked him out, made him look bad." And, come on, guy. Look, really, I'm not that stupid. You should probably learn a little bit more about me if you're going to try to trick me.
Yeah, that was a really sad attempt, and but we were willing to try to attempt to humor. So we were going to have him on and do a video chat just to kind of see who this guy was and everything. And the second we kind of told him that that's what we were interested in doing.
Yep, he pulled the plug. He said, "Nope,
can't get them." So that kind of brings us towards the end of our show here tonight, guys. So.
First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Rick Gonzalez. He couldn't be with us tonight. I know he's probably watching right now. And shout out to you, Rick. Get better, man. And we hope to see you next week. And if you're not feeling good, we'll see you when we see you. And we're definitely going to do some cop blocking soon with that new 360 camera. It's really fucking awesome. And the videos are going to be great. So,
absolutely. Also, everybody, I want you to go ahead and head over to copblock.org/shows for all your needs. They have hats, shirts, hoodies, and more. Also, make sure you download Cell 411 on the App or Play Store for all the best live streaming needs that you can have while cop blocking.
Yeah, Retro Phoenix also wants to give his best to Rick. Sorry to interrupt, but
absolutely. We gave, I don't know if you were here earlier, Retro, but we kind of gave a sneak preview of one of Rick's photos for the calendar. For the All Rick All Day. Also, I want you to tune in on Wednesdays to LRN.FM for Cop Block Radio at 10 p.m. Eastern, featuring myself. And this week we're going to have a Demo Freeman on. He's going to be third seat, give us his intake on or insight on everything that's going on. That's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on LRN.FM
and that's going to be you, a demo, and Severin Freeman from Lehigh Valley Cop Block. That's correct.
Yep, absolutely correct.
Oh, that should be a good show. I'm definitely going to tune in and watch.
Yeah, so once again, that is at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at LRN.FM on your computer, or also you can go to copblock.org/show, and it will be live broadcasted from there as well. So this episode of Cop Blast Broadcast was brought to you by Rick Gonzalez of Allentown Cop Block, myself, Matthew Taylor of Carbon County Cop Block, and
myself, Scott Marshall, from the Oath Accountability Project. Check out all of our YouTubes. Check out all of our Facebooks. Give us some likes. And also, I want to say, please write to Dio.
Absolutely.
I have the address. It's right here. It's Douglas Odalecki, Parma Detention Center, 555 Powers Boulevard, Parma, Ohio 44129. That will be in the post-show write-up. That should be available tomorrow. Anything else that you would like to add, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, we will see you next week. Have yourself a good one. Make sure to film tops. Put your cameras this way when you do.
Yes, please.
if you have something awesome that happened, you know, whether it was you shutting down the cops or something along those lines, please make sure to get a hold of one of us. We will definitely feature it on the show.
Yeah, also copblock.org/submit. You can submit your videos there, and also go to copblock.org/store. You can get all of your merchandise, shiny badges. There's a donate button. You can find out how to donate to Dio if you'd like to, which I would highly recommend. Dio's the man. I don't know if I can say that enough. So copblock.org/submit and copblock.org/store.
Absolutely. So everybody, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe out there. Make sure you know your rights and make sure you question cops. Do not answer their questions. Film them every time and stay safe. Love you guys. See you next week.